Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm going to realistically rebuild the Brooklyn Nets. As of this recording, which is March 26th, we're sitting at a record of 27-45. This team has been extremely underwhelming, and we're currently sitting at the 11th seed. This is what the point guard positions look like: Dennis Schroeder, Dennis Smith, Ben Simmons, and Jacob Gilyard. A bunch of older players here, and yeah, Ben Simmons has been dealing with a lot of injuries. He's a great player in my opinion, but just unfortunately battles through a lot of injuries. This is what the shooting guard positions look like: Cameron Thomas and also Lonnie Walker the fourth. Also a bunch of two-way contracts there: Johnson and Martin. Um, this is what the small forwards look like: Mikal Bridges, Jalen Wilson, and also Dariq Whitehead. Two young guys, and also Mikal Bridges. He's been kind of underwhelming this season though. Cameron Johnson at power forward alongside Dorian Finney-Smith, Watford, and Keita Bates-Diop. And our centers are Nicholas Claxton, Sharp, and Noah Clowney. So at the moment, we're at the 11th seed and only 4 games behind an injured Atlanta Hawks team. They're missing out on Trae Young, who is currently out with a injury. So I thought maybe if we put together a solid end to the season, we could sneak into the playoffs and try to make some noise there. And let's see how that worked out for us. With our last game approaching, we were sitting at 34 wins, which was just narrowly not enough to make the playoff push. Our last game is against the Philadelphia 76ers, and for whatever reason, I decided to simcast this game, and it looks like it's going to be a blowout in the favor of the Sixers. Nikola Jokic wins his third MVP, putting up a very good stat there. Wembanyama is Rookie of the Year, putting up 3.4 blocks. Malik Monk was Sixth Man of the Year with the Sacramento Kings, 15 points per game on solid efficiency. Wembanyama was also Defensive Player of the Year, 1.4 steals, 3.4 blocks, and 10.7 rebounds. Jalen Johnson of the Atlanta Hawks was Most Improved Player of the Year. He jumped from 5 points to 14 points. His rebounds went up. His assist numbers went up. His steals and blocks were up. His efficiency was much better. Definitely very much so deserved. Anthony Davis is Clutch Player of the Year, 2.4 blocks, 1.2 steals, 12 rebounds for the big man. Very cool stuff there. Joe Mazzulla is Coach of the Year, and Jacob Park is Executive of the Year. It should be Brad Stevens. I don't know why 2K doesn't get the rights to real life GMs. I think it would be an extremely good touch. This is all NBA first, second, and third looking like these. All NBA second team. Wembanyama actually made it there as a rookie, which is incredible for him. All defensive first and second looking like this. Shout out to Derek White making it as the 85 overall. All rookie first and second also looking like this. All right, so this is what the play-in tournament looks like in the West. Pelicans will go up against the Sacramento Kings, and the Lakers will go up against the Golden State Warriors. In the Eastern Conference, Indiana will take on the Sixers for a chance at the 7th seed, and Chicago will go up against Atlanta for a chance at the 8th seed against the loser of the other game. Regardless, I'm going to simulate and let's see what's going on. Nikola Jokic is conference MVP in the West, and Damian Lillard, putting up a monster 37 points per game, is Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And the Nuggets go on to win their back-to-back championship. Nikola Jokic, 29-point monster triple-double, extremely efficient, well-deserved Finals MVP. So this is what player retirements are looking like. Usually I like bringing 75 overall players or over back to play one more season. I will let Blake Griffin retire because he is retired in real life. Kemba Walker, I guess it would be kind of cool to see him back in the NBA. I'm just not sure if that will happen. But I mean, Isaiah Thomas also got another chance. Greg Popovich will also be forced from retirement, I guess. So this is what the league changes are looking like. I usually don't really make any changes. I guess it would be kind of cool to see rookies versus sophomore once again. This is what the lottery odds are looking like. And since we missed the playoffs, we're sitting at a 4.5% at the first overall pick. And unfortunately, we do drop one to 10. We get the 10th overall pick. And congratulations to the Bulls, Wizards, and Spurs. They get 1 and 2 and 3. All right. That's cool for them. Let's look at some staff signings and all that. I would definitely like to bring in a coach with a little bit of experience and see if we can make a playoff push next year, depending on what we do in the offseason. So I tried looking for an established coach, and unfortunately, I just couldn't find one. So I just brought back Kevin Ollie back, and I signed a bunch of assistant coaches and stuff like that as well, just to see what we can do. All right, let's look at player scouting and all that kind of stuff. Barney Ross is touted as the number one prospect, a 6'5" point guard. Um, I guess he is extremely interesting as a prospect. So this is what the team is looking like. We have good small forwards, although we could use a good backup small forward as well. Dariq Whitehead does have solid potential, but I mean, can a 71 overall be enough as a backup small forward next year? Another thing to consider is our point guard position. Dennis Schroeder is our best point guard at the moment, and I believe he is an expiring contract next year. Barney Ross is incredible as a prospect. He's a good defensive prospect. He's a good offensive guy, very efficient in college as well. I also decided to scout most of these guys that are almost at the top of the list. Mel Wagner is a solid big man from Utah, 2.6 blocks, 35% from three. Very interesting prospect, 20 years old. Darren Jamison, a power forward, defensive oriented, 7 foot. He unfortunately did not play in college. But yes, he does have an incredible 7'9" wingspan at the power forward position. Greg Day, he's a solid prospect as a small forward from Canada. 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists, although his efficiency is kind of terrible. Lucas Hammonds is another point guard, 19 years old, 20 points and 8 rebounds per game. He is not so efficient from the field, but he is a good shooter. Leonel Toscano is a older big man, so I think I'll avoid scouting him. So yeah, I just scouted, and let's go into the draft now and see who I draft. So I really like the first overall pick prospect, Barney Ross, 6'5" point guard. So I decided to throw the Chicago Bulls an offer. I offered them Cameron Johnson, Jalen Wilson, 2 first-round picks, the 10th overall pick from this year, a lottery pick take the pick, and also 2 second-round picks. And they do accept the offer. Now with the first overall pick, I will go ahead and draft Barney Ross, a 20-year-old prospect, 6'5" with a 6'9" wingspan. Pretty good efficiency for a guard. 3.8 steals, 8.8 assists, 5 rebounds, and 20 points per game. 37 games played. The number one prospect all around. 8 3-point shot, A plus defense, A minus potential, A IQ. He comes in as above average in almost every single category. Welcome to the team, Barney Ross. And we're going to pick him here with the first overall pick the Brooklyn Nets select. Barney Ross from California, 6'5", point guard, 223 pounds. A tremendous defensive asset, Ross led the nation in steals last year in California with 3.8 per game. Definitely a hit here. Barney Ross, welcome to the team. Here I'm trying to get a late first-round pick out of the Cleveland Cavaliers, and for whatever reason, they counter-offer 2 first-round picks, 1 second-round pick, Dean Wade and Georges Niang for Dorian Finney-Smith, Day'Ron Sharpe, and a 2024 second-round pick from us. It is absolutely ridiculous why they would do this, but they were the ones that counter-offered me with 2 first-round picks. Thank you very much, Cleveland. I will take that deal. So now we have a 25th pick. My targets are still a backup small forward, maybe a backup power forward or center as well. Cody Murphy is an interesting prospect. He's 22 years old. Very bad offensive player, but his defense shines a lot. 3.2 steals and above 2 blocks per game for a shooting guard. A Tony Allen type of shooting guard. Terrence Wells is an interesting prospect. B- on offense and defense. Solid stats all around, but his efficiency was kind of bad. So I think I'll pass up on him for now. Maybe I'll come back and look at him later on. I'm trying to look for a perfect candidate here. Cody Murray. Keep going back to him. His talents are very interesting to me. Lenny Ingram is a 6'4" point guard, and if I didn't draft a point guard with the first overall pick, I think I would have gone for Lenny Ingram. He's scouted 10th best prospect, and he slipped down to 25. So maybe he'll be a good steal and maybe slide um, uh, either him or the other guy to the shooting guard position. I'm not sure. Let's see. Mark Holloway is an interesting prospect, although his statistics are nice, but his efficiency is garbage. Donovan Ray is another guy that I looked at. Shaq Adams. Stats are not too bad for the big man, although his blocks numbers are pretty low. Byron Higgins is 22 years old, so I think I'll pass up on him for now. This Shaq Adams guy also only has a 6'10 wingspan, which is a negative wingspan. Pat McDaniels is not a bad prospect. He's a 43-point shooter, very good efficiency. His numbers are kind of low. He's projected 35th. Not much is known about this guy. Comes in as a B- rebounder and a C 3-point shooter. IQ is low. Post defense is low. His rebounding is the only good thing. He's kind of like a more worse version of Kevin Love. So I keep looking. Dan George is a prospect that is very intriguing. He has an A- 3-point shot. He's projected to go 48th though. Dan Adams, from what scouts have been saying, are he can be a future star in the NBA according to scouts and fans. A future NBA star. Let's look at his stats. Nothing crazy. 1.2 steals, 2.3 blocks, 7 rebounds, and 20 points per game on not very good efficiency, although 80% from the free throw line is not bad at all. He's also a 6'11 power forward with a 7'5 wingspan. He's projected to go low 30 to maybe high 50. So he has a very big range. So I think I'll just take him just because of his raw stats and also physicals. From Colorado State with the 25th pick. Welcome to the team. Zach Harper says he doesn't know why he slid down this draft so far, but credit to us for picking him. So I guess that's good for us. Let's see. I have another second round pick. It is going to be the 56th pick of this draft. Let's look at a player, maybe a small forward or shooting guard. I'm not sure. I think I'm just gonna draft the best available. Cesar Pina is a very intriguing prospect here. He's a small forward shooting guard, all around stats. He's 6'6", 20 years old with a 6'8" wingspan. He's from Argentina. Interesting prospect there. Let's keep looking at other player. Denilson Viana is a point guard. He's going to come in as a very solid 14 points per game, 5 assists, and also 2 steals per game from Brazil. A very good shooter. He's 6'3" with a 6'6" wingspan. He's 21 years old, and I'll just pick him up because why not? From Brazil. He made the most college threes, 38 out of 50 in the combine. So welcome to the team from Brazil. All right, so I'm going to bring all of these guys to the team, obviously. I would have liked to give Viana a two-way contract, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Keita Bates-Diop accepts his player option, which is not good for us. Keon Johnson, Jalen Martin, and Jacob Gilyard will walk in free agency. I don't really have a plan for them. So this is what the point guard rotation is looking like right now. Schroeder, Simmons, Viana, and also Ross. So we have a lot of power forwards, but none of them are above the rating of 75. And I also need to bring back Claxton. That's my main goal right now. He's asking for about $25 million. I will try to throw him a flat 23 and see if he accepts that. And it looks like he will accept that contract. Nicholas Claxton, welcome to the team. All right, now I'm trying to figure out the power forward situation on this team. Miles Bridges is an interesting candidate. He's asking for about 21 million. I want to see if I can lowball him around 17, but I don't think that's a good idea. Let's offer him about $18 million for a couple years and see if he takes that. He's an 82 overall, 6'7", 26 years old, so he still has room to grow, although I don't think he'll develop in the game of 2K. Somebody else that I would like to try to get is Caleb Martin. He is about 6 overalls worse or 5 overalls worse, but he's also seeking 10 million less. And I think if I bring in Bridges, I won't be able to bring in Claxton, and I value Claxton more. So I'll bring in Claxton and Martin for now, and if I have enough money, I'll go for Bridges later. I was also in need of a backup center, so I brought in Juan Hernan Gomez. So this is what the team is looking like. I definitely need a backup shooting guard, small forward. These are some of the power forwards, so maybe I can, you know, um, slide one of those guys to the small forward position. Let's also see if we can make a trade happen here. Georges Niang is making a lot of money. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of him yet because I just received him. So I'll have to hold on to his contract for a bit longer. Uh, I want to see what I can get for Noah Clowney. Maybe, I'm not sure. Keita Bates-Diop, I'm just going to get rid of him for a second round pick later from DC. It doesn't really make sense for me to keep him on the team as I have already so many power forwards. I have 4 point guards, actually one shooting guard, a bunch of younger small forwards. I also decided to bring in Willie Hernan Gomez. He's always a great backup to have. I'll let the other guys walk in free agency and simulate. Let's look at player progression. Nobody really jumps up by much. Mikal Bridges doesn't even make a small jump, which is kind of concerning in my opinion. He's only 27 years old and no growth. The only thing that improved in his game was draw foul. It went up by 4. Great. Claxton doesn't jump up by much either. He's only 25 and his game has kind of staggered in this game, which is kind of heartbreaking. 22-year-old Cam Thomas doesn't really jump up by much. He's a better three-point shooter and a better rebounder. Good IQ as well. Schroeder doesn't jump, no surprise. Simmons doesn't jump, no surprise. Martin drops by 1. Niang drops by 1. Whitehead goes up by 2, now it's 73, and Clowney goes up by 1. All right, let's simulate to the next season and take a look at our roster. All right, so this is what the team is going to look like. Our point guards are Ross, Schroeder, Simmons, and Viana. I'll put him in the G League for after. Cam Thomas is our lone shooting guard at the moment, so definitely I need to go pick up a shooting guard. Mikal Bridges and Dariq Whitehead are our small forwards. Martin, Niang, George, and Wade are our power forwards, and Claxton, Hernan Gomez, and Clowney are our centers for now. All right, so I want to take a look at training, individual training, and take a look at some of the developments. I like Barney Ross's all-around thing, so I'll keep him there for now. Simmons, I'm going to make him load manage so he doesn't get injured as much. Viana, as you can see, he's a good 3-and-D player, although everything else is kind of lackluster around that. So let's have him work on his inside scoring. Thomas is good for now. Dariq Whitehead, let's have him focus on his two-way skills as a small forward. The rest of these guys are kind of older. Dan George, we just drafted him 2 ways. Good for him. And Noah Clowney, let's have him work on his offense as a big man. All right, so now I'm going to do G Leagues. And I believe I only have 1 spot, so I'll give it to Viana for now. So about a week into the season, I was offered this deal, a protected top 10 pick from Detroit for Dennis Schroeder. Detroit already has 3 point guards. Cade Cunningham is great. Marcus Sasser is better than Schroeder. And this pick is valued at a 3-star. I will decline that offer because I just don't think it's realistic for Detroit to give up a first-round pick, especially as a rebuilding team, to get Dennis Schroeder, who will be a third-string player. This is our first in-season tournament game against the Milwaukee Bucks. As you can see, it's pretty close. Simcasted it, and it was very close up until the end. We unfortunately lose by 1 point. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 40 points, Lillard 35. They combined for 75. Insane. Great performance from both of them, I guess. The in-season tournament is enabled in this thing. Now, this is an offer that I like much more. Dennis Schroeder and a second-round pick from us for Gabe Vincent and a first-round pick. As you can see, the Lakers don't really have a good backup point guard, so this makes a lot of sense for them to go ahead and get Dennis Schroeder, who is a great backup point guard, for a very team-friendly $12 million contract. He is having kind of a cold start to the season, but it's only been about 2 weeks. Gabe Vincent is making $11 million for the next 2 years. So he is definitely on a very heavy contract. I want to see if I can get a second round pick out of them and they want more picks. And I'll just do this. 2 second round picks, Dennis Schroeder for Gabe Vincent, a first round pick, and a second round pick. Not bad at all. I like that deal. We're 17-19 at the start of the new year, and I thought I'd stop and take a look at some stats and just see what's going on. Basically, a 500 team. I want to take a look at statistics, just look around, see what's going on, who's playing good, who's playing bad. The rookies averaging. Oh, wait a minute. I want to take a look at advanced stats. True shooting of Dean Wade has been incredible. 50, 40, 100. Unfortunately, he is injured long term. Best rebounder on the team is Willy Hernangomez, who's actually averaging 12 points per game and 7 rebounds. He's shooting 54, 38, and 80 from the free throw. He's been incredibly great for us. Maybe a trade candidate, 30 years old, so he doesn't really fit in with our rebuild, but definitely a guy that can, be thrown in a deal. Especially with a paired up with maybe Gabe Vincent's contract, and we'll see what I can get for him. As I was simulating, the Denver Nuggets offered me a trade for Caleb Martin, Hunter Tyson, and a first round pick, and they want me to give up a pick as well. I'll just take on the pick. It's also a bit of a salary dump from their side. Denver Nuggets, thank you very much for a first round pick. Hunter Tyson is also now a part of the team. Now my point guards are looking like Ross, Simmons, Vincent, and Vienna. I want to kind of see what I can get for Tyson and Vincent. I just got them too recently, and I want to maybe pair them up with a first round pick or something, and we'll see what I can get. I was looking at some of the upcoming free agents, and I liked what I saw. So I was thinking maybe if I save enough cap space, I'll be able to sign some of them. So Mikal Bridges, Frank Jackson, who I signed in the middle of the season, and a second round pick. Mikal Bridges is not really having that great of a season. So 4 first round picks and Josh Hart. So I'm hoping I can flip Josh Hart for maybe another first round pick or something. 4 first round picks from New York, Josh Hart's contract. I will do this. Thank you very much. New York, the Villanova boys are reunited. Mikal Bridges' name has been connected to New York this season, so I think it's a good deal for both sides. I get a lot of picks, maybe a little too much for Mikal Bridges, but I didn't get anybody young. Now I'm trying to see a team that could use Josh Hart. I was thinking of the Boston Celtics. Their small forward backup position is not really that great. Maybe the Clippers could use a backup small forward, especially because they lost out on Russell Westbrook. I mean, he's not a small forward, but their bench is not really that good. They do have Brook Lopez off the bench now, which is very interesting. I just want to see if I can make this work, and I looked for a very long time. I'll cut to the point where I found the deal. So I'm not going to lie. I looked for a very long time, and I just couldn't find a deal that I liked. So I just kept him until the trade deadline period. Maybe I'll see. The trade deadline period, is only 1 week away. So maybe I'll find a deal then when teams are more willing to make trades. So I'll stop here. I'll take a look, and see what I can make work. I really do want to get rid of Josh Hart. I think his talents are being wasted on this team. So let's stop and take another look after these games against the Pelican. All right, so I couldn't find a team that would give me a first round pick. So instead, I found the Thunder, who gave me a contract dump and 4 second round picks for the price of Josh Hart and 1 second round pick. Welcome to the team, Harrison Barnes. He's making $18 million for the next 2 years. I want to pair those up with a second round pick and see if there's any team that's willing to give me something interesting. James Harden was offered up, but unfortunately, he's making way too much money for me to even consider James Harden, and he's only down to an 83 overall. He's making $30 million for the next 4 years. I mean, if he was making 30 mil for the next only 1 year or something, I maybe would have done it just to reunite them with the Nets, but it just wouldn't make sense for me to do that. So this is what the team is looking like after those trades. All those picks coming in are going to help us out a lot. I'm just going to give Ross a lot of minutes and some of our younger guys a lot of minutes, like Vienna, Tyson, Clowney, Whitehead, and reduce the minutes of Niang, Vincent, and the veteran players. So yeah, we basically tanked for the second half of the season, sitting at a record of 24-57 with the last game, 14th in the East, and somehow we win against the Celtics. Regardless, Luka Doncic is MVP, putting up a monster triple-double, good efficiency. Barney Ross is Rookie of the Year. Russell Westbrook is Sixth Man of the Year with the Utah Jazz, putting up solid stats. Wembanyama goes back-to-back as Defensive Player of the Year. James Wiseman is Most Improved Player of the Year with the Detroit Pistons, jumping up from 7 points to 14. I mean, did he really improve or did he get more minutes? I would argue that he's not Most Player of the Year, Most Improved Player of the Year, I should say, because I mean his numbers didn't look too impressive. Anthony Edwards is Clutch Player of the Year, very good efficiency from him. JB Bickerstaff is Coach of the Year, and John Murphy is Executive of the Year, aka Sam Presti. All right, this is what All NBA first team is looking like. Shout out to Victor Wembanyama making there as a second-year player. That's very impressive from the 21-year-old. All NBA second team looking like this. Shout out to Trae Young, and also All NBA third team looking like that. All defensive first and second looking like this. LeBron James makes it there as a year 22 player, 40 years old, and still making all defensive second. Shout out to him. Barney Ross obviously makes it there. Danielson Viana, our second round pick, and also Dan George make it to all rookie teams as well. Shout out to them. I think I absolutely nailed that draft. All right, let's take a look at the in-season tournament. Houston Rockets against the Kings, Blazers against the Memphis Grizzlies for a chance at the 8th seed. And on the other side, it's Detroit and Orlando, Atlanta and Chicago. Obviously, we didn't make it. So let's just simulate to the finals and see what's going on. So on the Western side, Luka Doncic puts up a monster triple-double to get Western Conference Finals MVP. And Trae Young puts up a nice double-double to lead the Hawks to the finals, earning the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Even though Doncic did win the award, it was the Thunder that were on top and went to the finals instead. So it's Thunder's Hawk finals, and the Atlanta Hawks win the NBA championship as Trae Young gets finals MVP, putting up a monster double-double. All right, nobody meaningful retires, so I just skipped to this part. The Bulls own our pick because of that trade up from last draft night. And luckily, it was a protected pick, so we get our own pick back. It does fall to 5, though, which is, it's better than not having any pick at all. We also have a late first-round pick thanks to that Mikal Bridges trade. All right, I did a bit of scouting here, and we have the 5th pick coming up. Ooh, the Utah Jazz trade the 4th pick and another pick for James Harden and Paul George. Now, note that these guys are a bit older, but that is a very interesting trade for them. They select a small forward from Maryland, and now it's my pick. So we already are good on guards. I would say that our biggest positional weakness is definitely a forward at the moment, although this guy, Geoffrey Cox, caught my eye. He's a 6'4", defensive-oriented shooting guard, point guard. That is 6'4". His efficiency wasn't looking too great, but his attributes are amazing. B- 3-point shots and a very good defensive game at a 20 years old. He also comes in at 8 badges. 20 years old with a 6'7" wingspan, so he can definitely slide over to the 3 if needed. I think it's an easy decision to select Geoffrey Cox here from Duke. All right, thanks to the Mikal Bridges trade, now we have the 24th pick via the New York Knicks. And I decided that I don't really need to draft a player here, and I wanted to explore what I could get. If I could get 2 first-round picks, and if it was protected, I would definitely take it. The New Orleans Pelicans were a team that offered me 2 firsts. The OKC Thunder offered me 2 firsts. And there were a bunch of other teams that offered me 2 first-round picks, which I think could come in handy when trying to trade up for a championship team. So let's take a look at some of these team offers. Dallas Mavericks, 2 top 3 protected picks for the 24th overall pick. The New Orleans Pelicans, I will take their offer because they don't really have the brightest future compared to other teams like the Thunder or the Mavericks. So thank you very much. And this is our second round pick here. I was trying to look for best available. Alonzo Hammond seems to be a very interesting candidate here. 22 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Welcome to the team with the 56th pick of the NBA draft. I also have another pick coming up here, and I'm just trying to pick best available. This guy has a B- 3-point shot, all around defense. His inside scoring is a bit lackluster, so I'll pick him. We don't really need anybody special here. A guy that could come in and play 10 minutes just in case of some injuries. He was the best at college 3-pointers made in the draft combine, so I didn't even know that when I selected him, but welcome to the team. As you can see, it wasn't a very top-heavy draft, so I will definitely walk away with a solid selection of players here. All right, let's take a look at the rookies that we drafted. Geoffrey Cox, Alonzo Hammonds, and also Lauren Gill. Very solid rookies there. These are what the player options are looking like. Vienna made an all-rookie second team last year. Clowney is a solid developing center. And also Dariq Whitehead was my starting small forward after the Bridges trade. And his efficiency was low, but he did put up about 9 points per game as a starter. Thomas is a free agent, so he's definitely somebody I should look forward to bringing back. But before I do that and throw him an offer, I want to take a look at the free agency market. I do have about $62 million in cap space. I'll let Ben Simmons walk. Jamal Murray is somebody that caught my eye immediately. 28 years old, a champion. I want to see if I can bring him in on a very more high ball contract, I should say. I threw him a high ball contract. We'll see if he comes in. Jonathan Kuminga, 22 years old. He's seeking about 28, 29 million. I want to highball these guys and see if I can get him. So he's looking for a $29 million deal for 4 years. I offered him somewhere north of $34 million. Or actually, let's see what I offered him. I offered him $33 million. Jamal Murray is seeking 37 for 4. I gave him about 41. So a couple more million a season to persuade him over the Nuggets. I offered Lauri Markkanen a contract as well, and all 3 of those guys actually accepted the deal. But I have to clear up a bit of more cap space to be able to afford these guys. So for the time being, I'll bring in Jamal Murray. So this is exactly why my picks are so useful. I paired Barnes and Vincent's atrocious combined salary of $30 million and a couple first-round picks. Let's see what I can get with those two. I just want to get as much money as I can through this pick. As you can see, there's teams that are offering me young guys, teams that are offering me veterans, but I want picks. Charles Bassey, welcome to the team. I also get a first-round pick back. Hopefully now I can afford Markkanen, and let's see if I can. First thing I want to try to do is bring back Thomas as well. Thomas is only seeking $18 million for the next 4. It's a very team-friendly deal, so welcome back. I still have about $13 million saved up, and let's see if I can afford another star player. The thing is, I couldn't afford Lauri Markkanen, but as you can see, there was a team that was offering me 2 first-round picks. You know what? I'll be nice enough to only take a second-round pick instead of a 2 first-round picks, which is absolutely stupid from the Charlotte Hornets. There's a reason why their organization cannot make the playoff tournament. All right, so since we did that, I want to see if I can get rid of some of these the guys that I've brought in for maybe role players or also saving up money. As you can see, these guys make 3, 4, 5 million. I'll bring in Trace Jackson from the Golden State Warriors and a first-round pick as well. Thank you very much, Golden State. It is very much so appreciated. Now I have much more cap space, and we need to go for a small forward, power forward. And guess what? Lauri Markkanen fits that role perfectly. So let's throw Lauri Markkanen a contract offer. So here we are at Lauri Markkanen, $28 million will be sent his way for him to consider our offer. And let's take a look at his offer sheets. And oh, wow, nobody even threw him a serious offer. So Lauri Markkanen, welcome to the team alongside Jamal Murray, creating a big two amongst them two. Also, Thomas off the bench is going to be amazing. Ross off the bench probably will be great as well. Cox is a very good trade piece, potentially. He's a 77 overall, 5th overall pick. I also need a backup power forward, so I was looking to see who that would be. Al Horford was coming off an inefficient season, and Jonathan Isaac was also pretty inefficient, but we don't really need him to fill out a lot of minutes. I just need him for his defense, and he is a good defender, although being pretty inefficient on offense. So I'll just give him a 2-year, $5 million deal, see if he accepts that. I'll also give a contract offer back to Willy Hernangomez, bring him back on the team because he was excellent for us last year. And let's take a look at what's going on. Murray, Ross, Thomas, Cox, Gill. Small forwards are looking like Markkanen, and also Isaac can play a bit of power forward. George is my power forward at the moment. Trace Jackson, Davis, and also Claxton are our big men. Not looking terrible. Let's take a look at what the actual polished roster looks like. Before I do that, I want to take a look at player progression. As you can see, Ross jumps up by 5 overall points. He was the 1st overall pick, but the 5 overall jump did surprise me. He's a better IQ player, better playmaker, better rebounder, better everything. Whitehead's overall goes up by 2, and nobody else drops by much either. I was expecting a big drop from Isaac, but he stays the same, which is excellent. He's a better IQ player now and slightly worse on the physical side of things. George only goes up with minor attribute changes, and Hernangomez goes down by 1 only. For a 31-year-old big man, that's not bad at all. All right, let's take a look at the polished lineup now. So we started off the season about 500. There was a lot of injuries going around, and some of our worst players had to get minutes. So I'd rather get somebody that is about a high or mid 80 overall player. Chris Middleton fits that role. I want to see if I can get this guy for only 1 first-round pick and 2 young guys, Dariq Whitehead and also Dan George. They didn't really jump up much, so thank you very much. Keon Ellis and Chris Middleton, welcome to the team. As you can see, Middleton is only making about $5-6 million, and he'll fit in perfectly in the starting 5. I'm still very hungry for an upgrade, so Jonathan Isaac for Tari Eason, and I'll throw in 2 first-round picks, a lottery-protected Lakers pick, and also this Pelicans pick, top 3 protected. Thank you very much. Tari Eason is an expiring contract, so I guess it makes sense a little bit. So another thing I want to take a look at upgrade for is the backup center position. Claxton was dealing with a lot of injuries, so I was forced to start Willy Hernangomez, who's a 73 overall. Not really too great, so I want to take a look at some of the offers that the CPU was offering me. This Warriors top 5 pick is a bit more valuable at 3 stars, still at a top 5 protection. So Lucas Hammonds was being offered up by the Philadelphia 76ers, a very good role-playing point guard. Definitely something to consider, but something that caught my eye was Walker Kessler and a pick swap. I'm getting a less valuable pick out of this trade, but there's no chance I can pass up this offer for an expiring Walker Kessler. He is on a $5 million deal expiring, so a lot of our team is expiring, but still not a bad offer at all. Another thing I want to do is try to see if I can make a trade for some of my younger guys like Hammonds, who's a 74 overall player, or Cox, who's a 78. And then I'll give you 1 first-round pick, 2 first-round pick, 3 first-round pick, and then I'll give you a 4th first-round pick. Wow. I mean, yeah, I get it. He's great, but still, that's 4 first-round picks. All right, Dyson Daniels, you can keep him. $7 million need to be made up. What about Trey Murphy? He declines his player option once again. Go for yourself. I will take on. Um, I'll take on. Oh, I'll take. Is this an upgrade though? Because I'm dropping so many overalls here. Cam Thomas. Um, I'll give you Cox and Jet. Oh man, we did it. Okay. I don't know, man. You tell me if that was an upgrade or not, because Claxton was dealing with a lot of injuries and his overall was down because of morale stuff. So for 4 first round picks, some of them protected, some of them not. Joffrey Cox, my fifth overall pick, and obviously Claxton for 89 overall. Ingram. I also brought in John Wall midway through the season because of contract stuff. So this is what the team was looking like. Ingram and Markkanen at the small forward. So I'm going to slide Markkanen to the power forward position. Eason will be off the bench. And then I just need to figure out a backup center position. And I think I'll just put Trace Jackson at the center position. So he'll be the backup center. As you can see, everybody's overall was down because of so many injuries. I didn't even show you all the injuries. But when I tell you there were so many injuries, it wasn't like I couldn't over exaggerate how many injuries there were. Regardless, I'm trying to see if I can bring in a backup big man. Jackson Hayes, somebody that's not even on a team, wants $7 million. Pokusevski wants $10 million, which is absolutely ridiculous, man. Let's take a look at who I can bring in. I'll just give a contract offer to Moses Brown. Usually he's pretty good in the simulation, so welcome to the team, Moses Brown. So this is what the rotation is looking like. Ingram, Markkanen, and Kessler at the backcourt position, or I should say front court positions. Ross and Murray will be the starting players. Nasir Little, with his little minutes that he was playing, was really efficient, so I decided to give him more minutes and see if he can keep up the efficiency. Hammonds was pretty efficient for a rookie, so I decided to increase his minutes as well. As you can see, his efficiency, especially for a power forward, was amazing. Usually 2K generated power forwards do atrocious on the offensive side of things, and it was the complete opposite with Hammonds. So yeah, let's simulate the rest of the season, and I'll stop if I see something notable. One thing I also forgot to mention was we're sitting at the 13th seed with a record of 24-35 because of all these injuries. And yeah, it was just looking terrible for us. But we did put together a winning stretch. Let's see how good of a winning stretch it was. This is what the contract extensions are looking like. Most of my players are free agents, but not eligible for contract extensions. So this is definitely a must-win season for me. I decided to play around with the minutes because we were losing so many games for no reason. And as you can see, whatever I did worked because we went on a nice little stretch of wins there. One loss against the Mavericks, but a couple nice winning streaks before that as well. As you can see, we're sitting at the 12th seed, 32-39, which is only one game behind the 11th seed. So we're not even that far off from the play-in tournaments. And I swear to God, if we can make the play-in tournament, we can for sure win the NBA championship. And as you can see, we're winning games. Jamal Murray's getting injured. I swear, if I showed you every time that screen popped up, this recording, instead of 43 minutes at the moment, would be about maybe an hour and 10 minutes because there were so many injuries, especially to guys like Nicholas Claxton. I'm so glad I traded him away, and things just seem to be working out. We're winning. We're cruising through teams against the Eastern Conference, especially the teams like the Raptors. The Knicks will be a big test for us, and it's a win once again. We're sitting at the 8th seed, our last game for a chance to close out about 500. We're sitting at a record of 41-40, and we destroyed the Sixers and get a 42-40 thing. Amazing ending to the season. We damn near won about 20 games and only lost about like 5. So that's amazing. Nikola Jokic is MVP for the 4th time, I believe, in this simulation. Luke Pickett is Rookie of the Year. This guy, I did pass up on Luke Pickett It is cool though. He gets Rookie of the Year. Very inefficient shooting from him though, but still Rookie of the Year. Asar Thompson is Sixth Man of the Year in Detroit. Wembanyama goes back as Defensive Player of the Year. Bilal Coulibaly is Most Improved Player of the Year, jumping up from about, let's see, 8 points to 12 points per game. Rebounds goes up, assists goes up, steals go up. Blocks are about the same. Efficiency is up, even though he has a bigger offensive role, as you can see. So good for him. I'm very happy for the Wizards. They're a good player. I'm not even going to lie. I spent like a good 20 minutes trying to trade up for Anthony Edwards. I was trying to give him like 4 or 5 for first round picks, and they rejected every single one of my offers. But this is what all NBA teams are looking like, all defensive teams. Dyson Daniels is somebody that I almost traded for as well. And I did it in the last second. Maybe I should have. He made a defensive team. And Joffrey Cox, our guy, he put up 10 points per game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. Efficiency is not nothing crazy. I mean, he was a defensive-oriented player. This is what the play-in is looking like in the Western Conference. Nuggets, Kings, Spurs, and Clippers. Yeah, not bad at all. And on the other side of things, let's take a look at that. We're going up against the team that we just destroyed, the Sixers, and the Boston Celtics will take on the Toronto Raptors for a chance at the 8th seed. The winner of those games will either face the Pacers or will face the Detroit Pistons. Pistons have a very nice lineup. I don't even know how they got Franz Wagner on their team. I would assume it had something to do with Jalen Duren, though, because he was not on the team. Regardless, to simulate this play-in game, this is a must-win. I would much rather go up against the yeah, okay, it's looking good. I was thinking about taking down the minutes and just like letting like my bench players play, but I was like, it's not worth the comeback. So we just crushed them by 36 points. Thomas, it's amazing spread. So yeah, we're going up against the Indiana Pacers in the first round. Very solid team, but definitely a chance for an upset here. As you can see, there's some positional weaknesses that they have defensively. So let's just simulate game one and see what's going on. An amazing 41-28 opening there. Second quarter was closed. They come back in the third. It's a close back and forth game. And unfortunately, we do lose last second, 42-40, fourth quarter ending. And Barney Ross is injured, so I had to, do my rotations a little bit. Fuck it, why not give John Wall a couple minutes here and there, see what he does with those minutes. And the Pacers jump on a big lead to start off this game. It is game 2 at their home court. We do kind of creep back, and unfortunately, it's another close loss. So this is game 3 right here. We got the home court finally for the first time this series. We got the home court advantage. As you can see, we are absolutely crushing them in Brooklyn, New York. All right, 143-99, a 44-point victory there. Jamal Murray is a playoff riser, jumping up 19 to 30 points per game. His assists are up, his efficiency is up, even his steals per game is up. The efficiencies are beyond beautiful from Jamal Murray there. All right, so this is game 4 right here. And as you can see, it's another blowout win, 21 this time instead. And Brandon Ingram, 37 points. He has been amazing as well, putting up 25 points per game. His three-point shot is not falling, only shooting 6% from deep. But I mean, his mid ranges are falling, his layups are falling. His efficiency would easily be at a 70% if he was hitting his three at a league average rate. Regardless, this is game. The series is tied up at 2-2 apiece at the moment. So this is game 5 and another blowout win. I have no idea how we're doing this after 2 consecutive close losses. We've just been blowing the Pacers out. I didn't check for injury. At the time, I didn't even think about the injuries, but it could have been an injury to the Pacers side of things. And this time, it's Thomas leading us in scoring as we advance against the Pacers to face off the Washington Wizards. The Wizards beat the New York Knicks. I wish the Knicks could have advanced so we could have had a battle of New York, but yeah, we'll suffice against the Wizards. I guess it's cool. It would have been fun to face off against our former star player Mikal Bridges. Unfortunately, they had a bunch of injuries and their rotation wasn't looking too strong. Mikal Bridges, Julius Randle, and Jalen Brunson, an interesting big three there. It could happen in real life as well. There was rumors at the trade deadline and stuff, but I'm not sure if we'll see that happen in real life. The Wizards are being carried by this rookie center, or I should say, not rookie center, but he's a year two player, Mel Wagner, somebody I passed up on to select my point guard. Regardless, Johnny Davis was having a pretty good start to his season, although in the offseason he's doing pretty bad. Patrick Williams is here. Vasilija Micic is here. Shout out to Vasilija Micic. He's one of my favorite point guards in the league just because he rocked that Thunder uniform at the first half of the season. He's been doing pretty good with the Hornets, though. All right, this is what the rotation is looking like now. Barney Ross, since he did get injured and is coming back, I'd rather bring him back slowly. And plus, Thomas has been on absolute fire, so it'd be kind of stupid to put out that fire by benching him. So game one is ours against the Wizards. I meant to simcast it, but I simulated it by accident. Regardless, game two is being simmed right now. We're in DC. As you can see, it's a pretty fair, close game. Unfortunately, they do kill us in the fourth quarter and absolutely crush our chance of winning there. Regardless, we did still one home court game, so it's 1-1 at the moment, going back to Brooklyn. And let's take a look at this game right here. Absolutely beautiful start for us. An amazing first half, an even better third quarter, and a crushing fourth quarter for the big blowout game here, 42-43. I didn't even see the final score, honestly, but it was a big blowout. Man, this team is such a well-built team. Good depth, good starting lineup. Tariq is an amazing piece to have on the team. Very versatile guy. Swiss Army knife under a Kirilenko type, defensive-oriented player. And Chris Middleton off the bench is amazing. Brandon Ingram, Markkanen, and Murray provide very good star power as we walk through DC to face off the winner of that series, which will be the Detroit Pistons. On the other side of things, it's the OKC Thunder facing off the New Orleans Pelicans, a team that we made a trade with. They dealt away Brandon Ingram, and obviously I got back Brandon Ingram. So we'll see if they can beat us in the finals, or I should say they could meet us in the finals. This is what the Detroit Pistons are looking like. Franz Wagner, Jalen Johnson, Gabe Turner, a very good team. No Jalen Duren, though. Ausar Thompson is playing off the bench. This big man was the 4th overall pick, and he's playing amazing in the playoffs. Very good, well-rounded team. Ausar Thompson off the bench is the best 6-man in the league at the moment. He's coming off a 6-man of the year win. So it's going to be a very tough series. All right, game one time. We're in Detroit. We start out with a small four-point lead. As you can see, it's a very high-scoring game already. They're holding on to a lead, and it goes to overtime. But we do win in overtime, 151-143. Ingram, Thomas, Markkanen, great games from those three. Here we are, game two, 45-27 opening. They do come back in the second and third, though. And let's take a look at if we can come back or not. And another win at their home court. I'm trying to look for injuries, but there are none. Cade Cunningham, only 11 shots attempted and also 5 fouls. He was definitely in foul trouble probably from the start of the game. And it was just a good game from us. Ingram 31, Markkanen 20. Ingram has definitely been carrying us this finals run. And time for the next game. It's a close one to start off. They're holding on to a very nice position here. and it looks like they're just going to crush us for the victory. Yes, 36-point win there to take the 2-1 at our home. But there was an injury to Murray, and John Wall was forced to start, but there's no chance I'm starting John Wall. So I'll just put Ross at the point guard, which is his natural position anyway. Thomas at the shooting guard. Ingram minutes will go up. Tari Eason and Middleton minutes will go up as well. And Trace Jackson has been amazing off the bench. Nasir Little as well has been great. We're sitting at the 2-1 lead. We just need to win this at our home court. If we can win it, I'm very confident that we can win the championship here. So we're sitting onto a very solid lead. And it looks like a very beautiful 40-point victory without our star player Murray. Although we did have Morgan and Ingram combined for, I didn't really see what they combined for, but I could tell you was 60 plus that they combined for. Take the 3-1 lead. Now we're in Detroit for a chance to close out this series and face off against the winner of the Thunder Pelican series. And it's it was fairly close to start off, but we do take on the Detroit Pistons to go up against, let's see, 3-2. The Pelicans force a game 7 against the Thunder. Thunder looking very solid at the moment. No major injuries. There are some injuries here and there, but nothing too major. They are missing out on Josh Giddey. I believe he walked out on free agency and joined the Dallas Mavericks. I'm pretty sure he went to the Mavs. I'm not 100% sure. They do have Kelly Oubre. They have Daniel Gafford. They still have Jalen Williams, Jay Will. They still have J-Dub, Lou Dort. Isaiah Joe is a sniper. Although he's not really that efficient in the playoffs. They still got Shea and also Chet Holmgren. So this is game 7 for them. I'm just simcasting just for, special effects. I just want to see how it goes. And it looks like OKC will survive the storm of the 3-1 comeback and win the Western Conference Championship to go up against us for the chance at the NBA Championship. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is West MVP, and Brandon Ingram putting up a near 30-point, beautiful efficiency numbers there, is Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Also, I decided to take another look at the lineup, and I noticed that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was out. I don't understand how that happened. It must have been a Game 7 injury. Dislocated left patella, out for the season, so our chances at the championship just went up. It's still a very tough, deep Thunder team, and we start out with a solid 23-12 opening. It's a close game still, very close indeed. Even though we're going on these runs, it's still very close, and only a 3-point win, game 1. Jamal Murray is back for game 2, but I think I started the game by accident. So yeah, Jamal Murray is back for game 2. And you know what I did? I think I forgot to put him in the lineup. Regardless, I was taking a look at the game 1 stats. Chet Holmgren, 41. The rest of the team looked solid. Kelly Oubre easily shot him out of the game, though. 4 for 18 on the field. Very terrible efficiency there from him. Yeah, I completely forgot to put Jamal Murray back in my lineup for game 2. This is exactly when I remembered to put Jamal Murray back in my lineup. Unfortunately, he was in my reserves, so I had to wait till game 3, which was very, very irritating. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Let's see how this game goes without Murray. Murray will be on the sidelines cheering, even though he's completely healthy, man. It is completely my fault. I melted there. Hopefully, we can get the win without Murray at their home court once again. It's a very close game, very close back and forth, and we do take the clutch time win. Ingram 30 points, and look, I was about to simulate game 4 without Murray as well. I put Murray back in my lineup. Now we're in Brooklyn. Chance to take a 3-0 lead against the OKC Thunder. No Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, which is great for me. With Jamal Murray in the lineup, as you can see, 38-point big blowout to take the 3-0. And then let's just close out the series here against the OKC Thunder. This team was absolutely garbage in the first half of this rebuild. Somehow, some way, we managed to make that comeback happen, which is great. I'm just gonna play because we basically won this series. Um, yeah, we won this series. Come here, give me a screen. Kick it out to Middleton. Bang, pump fake. Floater. I missed it. Oh man, it is good though to win the championship. Holmgren, get out. Oh, only 24 seconds remaining. Uh, Hey! Oh wow, a foul. Uh, Give me that bucket. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, OKC will lose in our home court. This beautiful, great courts in Barclays Center. Um, Tari Eason rocking the number 17. Very disgusting number there. J Dub gives it up, shot up, off, and we will hold the ball for the NBA championship, man. Oh, and it almost went in as well. Let's go, baby. Uh, what a comeback in the second half, man. We were sitting at the 14th seed at one point of this season, looking at our things, and I was losing my mind thinking about um not making the playoffs, and then we make the play in, and then we made the playoffs through the play in, 7 seed, and we dismantled almost every single team that we played against. There we go. Coach is talking it out. NBA Finals. Look at our bench. Markkanen, Trace Jackson, and a whole other bunch of different guys jumping up and down. Jamal Murray's there as well. Ingram, Tari Eason, Middleton gets another ring. Murray gets another ring. And Walker Kessler is given the finals trophy at the moment. Let's see who gets finals MVP. It's probably either going to be Jamal Murray, Ingram, or Markkanen. I would assume it's either Ingram or Murray, though. Yeah, man, let's go. Uh, Walker Kessler is holding the finals trophy. Is there a chance that he got it? I mean, his defensive impact must have been great against Chet Holmgren for us to eliminate him in 4. And the championship is ours to keep. Brooklyn Nets rebuild was extremely polarizing, very nerve-wracking, and Barney Ross gets Finals MVP. Wow, that was the last guy I expected him to get the Finals MVP. Unfortunately for the Thunder, they couldn't have Shea in this series. I think it would have been a very good series with Shea. But regardless, that's it, and that's out. Thank you for watching, man. If you have any suggestions, let me know in the comment sections below. And I'll catch y'all next time, and peace.